Rundown, June 23rd. We're live. Brought to you by our friends at SeatGeek, the absolute app. I know our boy Scott Van Pelt's looking for Red Sox tickets. So, Scotty, SeatGeek, that's where I would go if I were you. They aggregate all the ticket information in all the world. They find out the best values. I've given this speech. If you can't recite it by now, you're just not paying attention. You should go watch Simmons' lame show. It's basically, well, it doesn't matter whether it's front row, back row. It's like, what's the best value here? What's the best value for your money? They assign a letter grade. You buy it. They're going to give all stoolies $20 if you download their app. Use the code RUNDOWN. It's a free app. You buy the tickets. They send you the $20 after. We've seen a million checks, so it's legit. Free $20, any tickets you need. SeatGeek. Download the app, SeatGeek.com, SeatGeek on your app, all that good stuff. All right, big start for you two boys. Big trade. So
stop taking all the players. New York is like trying to be Chicago. Can we just admit that?
Worked out with B. Marsh so far.
Starlin, B. Marsh, Forte, D. Rose. Fucking don't hog it all, bro.
Stop giving them up, man. Giving up good players.
This is riveting. So I mean, are we happy? Are we mad? Like Dan? Like are you?
It's start with Dan. It's obviously
okay. Yeah, I mean it's sad to see Derrick Rose go because he's obviously a Chicago guy. He always wanted it to work out. I think if you looked at the internet yesterday, Knicks fans were pissed, Bulls fans were pissed, which means it was a fair trade. Honestly, it was. Like it was.
Yeah. I don't think this is not that big of a trade. Well, it is for you because it's like the end of an era.
Right.
But as far as the actual trade, it's not that big of a deal. It's just that it's such a marquee name that people are freaking out about it. The Knicks basically were able to get rid of Calderon and bring in a point guard who, when he's healthy, is a better performer than Calderon without giving up any of their cap space. They still have a ton of financial flexibility. They get Derrick Rose's bird rights. This is more about cap space than anything, and I think that people are just freaking out because of the name Derrick Rose.
Right, and he wasn't going to re-sign with the Bulls after 2017 because it just wasn't going to. The front office was going to lowball him. It just wasn't going to happen. So he's going to walk next year anyway. I thought we wouldn't get anything for him. Like there were certain points where it was like, what are you going to get for him? The guy's got 1 year less left, and he's a liability injury wise. So I'm happy with whatever. And it's
to me, I don't think they gave up much. Knicks fans will now act like Jerry and Grant and Robin Lopez were like Stockton and Malone. I mean, Grant was a nice young player. Robin Lopez was on a team-friendly contract. But let's not act like we were giving up Hall of Famers here. It's not.
I am excited for Jerry and Grant just because I know the Bulls wanted him last year in the draft. And
they were
he wasn't there. Yeah, they were really high on him. And Reinsdorf does his thing where he wants anything that has any connection to the 90s era's Bulls. Jerry and Grant's obviously the nephew of Horace Grant, Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen have jobs for the Bulls. I think they just sit courtside and get fat checks. That's just kind of how Reinsdorf runs his organizations. So I'm actually excited about him. And at the end of the day, like we said, I mean, are the Bulls going to win a championship with their current roster? No. Are the Knicks going to win a championship with their current roster? No. The only thing I will say, Kevin, is that if you guys actually bring in, I love Joakim Noah. That's good. If you bring in Powell, Joakim Noah, or the other side where I've seen Dwight Howard, that is like the worst. That's the worst team of all time. Yeah. Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Rose, and Dwight Howard is.
Dwight Howard's one of the few guys where, like, if you're really big or really talented, I usually will look past a lot of the off the court shit. Not with Dwight Howard. Like, I do not want that guy. Get the fuck away from my team. That would be an absolute disaster. The only thing I'm really scared about with D Rose is if he does play well, he'll play just well enough for the Knicks to give him like $100 million extension.
Oh.
Then, you know what I mean? And that's so Knicks. To go after these guys who are 5 years past their prime or completely washed up and then give them a boatload of money is so Knicks.
Please find the clip, Hank, of Kevin being like, it's over with Derrick Rose. It's over. Because remember, we got in it. And
I am not under any illusions about what Derrick Rose is. The only thing I'll say is he is better than Jose Calderon.
What's going to happen? It's going to happen. He's going to drop like 30, 35 in like a November game, and you're going to be like, this guy used to be an MVP. Kevin, I've done it a billion times. The maybe Derrick Rose is back thing, that actually is like the biggest takeaway from this trade for me, is that I now have relief that I don't have to ask myself, is Derrick Rose back 100 times over the course of a season.
But if he comes back, then it's like kind of devastating. Anyways,
Dave, that's the point.
It's not happening.
It's like he's not going to be that.
Moving on, LeBron at the parade.
He's like, moving on. I'm not involved in this topic, so let's go. Next topic.
If you guys want to go, I mean, if you want to spend a fucking hour talking about it, you can. I thought as the host, it was my job to just move it along. Again, I mean, I'm just doing my job here. You guys would have gone back and forth. I was snoozing by the end. LeBron at the speech, the parade, he takes the mic for 20 to maybe 2 hours, and he's going player by player, thinking he's complimenting people, but actually being the most insulting, insufferable son of a bitch who's ever given a speech at a parade. He's talking about J.R. Smith. He said J.R. Smith, no one said you could be a team player. Nobody said you could win. Oh, by the way, you were a throw-in in the Knicks trade. He actually said that. You were a throw-in. And I don't even know how he ended up with the compliment. He's like, but you won a championship.
By the way, the New York Knicks said it was just, JR was a throw-in, by the way. Yeah, we'll leave that to the side. But I was like, I would love to have J.R. Smith.
That's like how he ended that one. Dellavedova, you're too slow. You can't play in this league. Nobody thinks you're any good. You won a championship. Then he goes, the worst was Kevin Love. He goes to Kevin Love. Kevin Love, you've told me, like, you know, who the fuck am I to talk to you? And everyone's up your ass because you've been so horrible the entire time you've been here. You were horrible in the playoffs. You couldn't do anything. And then you played okay in Game 7. Amen, Kevin Love. That was literally this guy's fucking speech. You could tell the guys are looking at him and be like, and then they do this. The players did this after he'd finished. Like, it's just so fucking LeBron. Like, he can't just be like, yeah, we brought Cleveland. He's got to sit there and belittle every fucking member of his team. Big Cat?
He's just so awkward. This is just, he actually thinks that he's like being nice. That's the crazy part about this is LeBron's not doing this in a malicious way. He actually thinks he's being nice because all the other haters have said LeBron's lost the step, and then he's like, oh, I'm still LeBron. He actually thinks he's being nice to Kevin Love, which is the craziest part. He is not, maturity-wise, social maturity never came to LeBron. It actually kind of reminds me of after Coachella, Dave, when you're like, you guys were a lot better than I expected. That was like the kind of compliment that LeBron was giving.
I had no idea what to expect in Coachella.
This is a Portnoy move. You were like, I can't believe you guys pulled that off. Like,
yeah, like we're funny.
That we are successful at what we do. Astounded. The thing about LeBron is, like, I saw some people being like, no, come on, man. He was like saying that all the ESPN hoopla was like not true. This is just like basic manners. You don't bring up that kind of shit if you're trying to compliment someone. You don't talk about how terrible they are before saying, but you won, thank you. It's just like you don't know forget about basketball. He just doesn't know how to be a human.
I mean, he had no redeeming qualities at the end of those speeches. It's just like, we won. It's like, you really didn't do it. It's like, you're horrible. You've been Kevin Love. You still don't like me. You did nothing. You've been a total waste. But hey, we won. It was wild.
Love even better. I know that stop on Steph Curry was a big deal, but that's all LeBron could say. He could only pick out one play where he played defense to give him credit.
We have a failed dunk. This like Wallace State, never heard of it. Lines up a bunch of kids in the gym. First of all, I don't know where you are that people are like excited to have a Wallace State freshman try to dunk on kids. Anyways, he tries to do it. Teabags the fuck out of the last kid in line. That kid acted like he got shot. He didn't hit his head. I rewatched this 100 times. That guy was like Verajao on the ground. Like that was, it was a foul. But I mean, we're trying to get some camaraderie here. I don't know. They got to roll around on the ground looking for a flagrant 2. KFC, what do you got?
I mean, he's like a 9-year-old kid who probably got his neck snapped by like a fucking.
You know what? Ever since you've had that Shea, you're just a soft bucket of molasses. Like, oh, that could be Shea one day getting fucking teabagged in line, and I don't want to defend the honor. Fuck
big
that.
Black dude, yeah.
That's it. I'm thinking about Shea getting teabagged by a big black dude. That's you got it.
I just saw
Big
your
Cat
eyes.
said that.
I just
I
saw
didn't
it
say
like
that.
bubble up.
When this comes back, when this tape rolls back, I didn't fucking say that. All right?
That was That was like that was a cartoon. I saw the bubble come up and Kevin saw the big guy like teabagging Shea. I just saw that happen.
That's Big Cat. I'm not going to talk about it.
Oh, disrespectful.
So disrespectful. It's rude.
I can't say fuck you. That kid though, he got obliterated. That was
come on, man.
Smoked, Dave.
No, it doesn't hurt when you get balls in the face like that.
That guy was fucking 200 pounds more than him. And
listen, watch it. He didn't hit his head on the ground. That's how you get concussed. That kid rolled over like he got shot.
Heck.
I was taking charges in CYO when I was fucking 9. I wouldn't lay on the ground.
You are that guy.
Can we get a commercial break?
Heard it worked yesterday, by the way. No big deal.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. We're back. Hopefully it worked. Mike Francesa, I listened to this whole clip. So he spends, this guy Wheeler, I guess, got hurt for the Mets. They're not sure what's wrong with him. He got hurt last year as well and needed like knee surgery. So he gets on the air and he sees something on SNY and he thinks it's basically last year's report about the knee surgery. He thinks it's new. He reports it that it's new. Then about halfway through, he realizes they may have a problem and he may be reporting last year's news. Couldn't figure it out for maybe 20 minutes. And then the coup d'etat is the first caller who called up and says, hey, Mike, was that a new report or was that an old report?
Was that yesterday's or last year's? Was that yesterday or last year's? Is that new news or last year's news? Is that a new report or an old report? Is that in last year's news? Is that the injury or is that exactly what we have again?
New Paltz, what's up, Mike?
Hey, how you doing, Mike? How are you?
What's happening?
No, I just wanted to ask, is that a new report about Wheeler, or is that last year's report?
We already answered that one, okay? It's last year's report on Wheeler. I said it 10 times, so no one got in any way mistook that it was this year's. Gary and Brantford, what's...
And Francesca, I don't know whether he knew it or what just didn't play into it, but it's like, I just cleared that up for the last 10 minutes. Yeah. Overall, very funny. I don't know him well enough, KSC. Was he... Like, did he know he was getting made fun of, or was he mad when that happened at the end?
Usually, if he knows he's getting made fun of, he'll call you out. He'll be like, get lost, go help an old lady cross the street. He'll call you out if he knows you're trolling him. So I think he literally was like, we just cleared that up. We cleared up. It's the old report. It's Francesa at its finest. This is it's an all-time clip. Because it's so Mike, because you could just be like, it was last year's report. Done. Move on. For 7 straight minutes, he asks, is it a new report, an old report, never giving in, never admitting that he was wrong. It's peak Francesa. And I don't get the people who don't think this is entertaining. Like, yeah, I know it's not proper sports radio, but the people who are like, how could you listen to this? That was the most entertaining 7 minutes of the week. I could listen to that over and over and over forever.
Big Cat?
That guy, though, who called in needs an award. That was – that's how you take, life by the balls and go for it, because that was so perfect how he did that to Francesa. I don't understand the allure of Francesa. I only get like these weird clips popped up every now and then, but that was a hilarious clip. And I, like you said, Kevin, I think you said it on KFC Radio, when he starts reading numbers out loud too, like that. Francesa is beautiful because he can do anything, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? But I'll keep listening. I listened to the whole clip. Totally. And I knew what was happening. I was reading the transcript. I was like, I know he doesn't know, but I'm going to still listen to the whole clip. He's an accidental genius.
Also, to your credit, the caller who said that, he had to already be on the line.
Yeah.
So he called for something else, listened to that whole thing, shifted on the fly. So that's just a professional caller. The way he said it was straight-laced. It was perfect. It really was. Big Cat's sad. This would piss me off. Ravel and J.J. Watt. It pissed me off. This is the things that piss me off about Barstool in general, and hopefully will change. It's the access to this idea you've had forever, and it's just it's an ESPN guy who we like, Ravel, but he can go do it, and it's our idea that we should be doing, but it's just not us.
All right, Darren Rovell, ladies and gentlemen. Here, Darren, don't use the big one. Jeez, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Just right. What am I? Right?
Use your legs. Lean into it. Come on, Darren! Jeez. Little effort, Darren! Yeah! Darren! Woo! Yeah, baby! You did it. Yeah! Now go back to business tweeting. Quick! The world needs you!
What do you got?
Sad. It's like my two boys, Like, think about that. Think about that as a crew. The blogger, the nerd, and the hardo. Like, what a fucking crew that is. Me,
Yeah.
JJ Watt, and Ravel hitting the town, flipping tires. Come on.
Sad.
I felt like I was watching, like the whole class gets invited to the birthday except for Big Cat. Just like the little kid. Like, you need to do the Charlie Brown walk with the blanket behind you and the head down because it's just sad.
It's kind of a dick move by JJ. Again, he's playing this game like, let's get us involved. Like, I mean, you'll do it. You're making fun. It's like we've been trying to do that.
I've heard
we've been trying to hunt greatness.
The trail has gone cold with JJ, so I've heard. Basically, there was a moment in time where I was convinced we were going to be set up and we were going to be able to go do a video in Wisconsin, flip some tires, do a podcast.
Apparently, he doesn't want to give any publicity to people that are mean to him. That would probably be me. I'll raise my hand on that one.
Such a ridiculous excuse.
Yeah. So I probably the tire flipping is probably out, and so this really hurt even more.
It's so maddening that he doesn't get the idea that if you turn the people who are mean to you, if you can turn them, then you win over everybody.
Dude, people like Ravel.
Ravel.
People like Ravel. That's the hardest thing in the world to do.
To make Ravel likable.
By the way, I apologize to everybody. When we get to New York, these problems, this has been a Skype issue. If the sound has been horrible, it's not Hank's fault. It's just a fucking horrible situation. Next up, we got this court case. Never seen anything like it. I don't know if you guys read the whole transcript. So it says mass murderer. It's this long transcript. And what makes this thing work, I mean, mass murderers are always going to be they're insane. That's the nature of being a mass murderer. There you go, screw loose. You're fucking out there murdering people in the streets. And he's like telling the judge, suck my dick, and I don't like girls. I want to jack off. What made it special is the judge goes off the rails with this guy. So he's like, no, you suck my dick. He's like, I'm going to murder your kids. He's like, well, I don't have kids. He's like, I'll murder your nieces. That's okay. I don't have nieces. So it's going back and forth. The guy actually is like called him a queer at one point. He's like, I didn't say you're a queer. I said you look like a queer. So that's what made this special. And I like it. I like a judge getting in the mix with a mass murderer. So funny exchange all the way around. Big Cat, what do you got?
We need to get the video. If there's video out there, I mean, how much would you pay for this video? If this actually went down how it was, because it was one of the funniest things I've ever read, watching the back and forth. Also, the mass murderer, kind of a pussy. Because if he's a big tough guy and he's murdering people and he's talking off to judges, when the judge says, go ahead and jack off right now, you got to jack off.
Got to jack off.
Got to jack off.
He said he couldn't bust a nut, right? He's like,
no, he said this is a kangaroo court.
That was the best line. My favorite exchange was like 20 days, 40 days, 60 days, 10 years, and then the guy drops a your mama on him. I mean, that's tried and true, timeless. 10 years, your mama.
Yo mama, axe murderer or not, no comeback for that. I don't care if you're the judge. It's yo mama always wins. Last up, we got to whip through the Simmons show last night. There's rumors on the grapevine right now HBO or whoever advertised is not so happy with Lewis and us for trashing the show. I trashed the show. I told Lewis when we sold this, like, they know our history. I'm not going to not say it's bad. If it's bad, that's not how we operate. And hand to God, that show is terrible. Bill Simmons is not made for TV. He never has been. The writing, some of the lines, some of the jokes, the ideas, they may be good because he's proven he's sublime at that. As a writer, 30 for 30, all that. The fact he thinks he's like a front guy, he legitimately has the charisma of an ant. I'm not just saying. He's just bad. There's no other way to fucking say it. And this show was horrible. KFC?
I disagree with you on the idea, though, that, like, the ideas were good. I thought that was the worst part. When he opened up with where does LeBron rank? Is it top 3? Is he top 10? I mean, that is, like, the oldest, most boring debate where there's no answer, and it's all subjective, and it doesn't really matter if he's 3, 4, 10. I couldn't believe that. And then to follow it up with Deflategate, which I know we've done Deflategate to death, but I'll be the first to say that I don't think those rundowns were very good. I think for this being your premiere, when you got all eyeballs on you, to go with a LeBron debate and Deflategate was a horrible idea. And then your boy Ben Affleck, thank God for him being, like, drunk and fat up there. Because that would have been, I wouldn't have even had anything to talk about if it wasn't for Ben doing whatever he did up there.
Simmons is so bad, that was worthy of talk. Like, before that, his charisma or lack thereof is so bad that it's newsworthy. Big Cat?
I hate judging off of one show because we've done shows that suck. The first rundown sucked. The first part of my take sucked. I think you got to give a show a couple times, but if it doesn't get drastically better, that's a really bad show. I mean, it was just
like, you're right. Everyone needs time to work out the kinks, but that to be like this is how we're going to open up. That's a bad time.
Well, and people, I said that last night. I said, I hate like people who say, oh yeah, that's the worst show ever after one show. You should get a chance for, a few, because that's just natural. But I would assume with the HBO money, they did a lot of dry runs, and they also have a lot of writers. And I kind of agree with Kevin. The LeBron debate was weird. The Deflategate, like, don't even talk about Deflategate, man. My eyes glazed over when that, and not only that, but Ben Affleck was so drunk and like full of Botox that he didn't even get Deflategate right. He was complaining about the football still. It's not even about a football anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that's not anything to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd say about don't judge it on its first is Simmons now has a pretty decent track record of like being on air. And the one thing that's fairly consistent with him being on air is he's an ant every single time he's on air. Like,
you know what?
It's
also weird that he keeps on mentioning ESPN like every chance he gets.
By the way, people are like saying I'm petty. They're like, oh, you're petty. And obviously I have my history, but the show really sucked. So you can take that for whatever it's worth. That has nothing to do with how I felt about him before. But to say I'm petty, he's the most petty fucking guy in the world.
Oh, for sure. He brings up ESPN every other second. It just feels like a weird X at this point to be constantly bringing up ESPN when you make $9 million. If someone wants to pay me $9 million, I won't fucking say the word Barstool or Dave Portnoy ever again in my life. I don't give a fuck. You're better off. You got everything you wanted. I also think Simmons, his head is too big for he's too skinny. His head's like
it looks like a lollipop. Like his neck is so thin, and he just has this like ball on top.
So he needs to put on some weight. Like if I were him, there's two things I would do. Is one, try to figure out a way to not read off the teleprompter because he was looking like all over the place. And two, take some steroids, bulk up.
And three, not be a fucking ant because he's a fucking ant.
That outfit too was weird. The plaid over the t-shirt. I don't know what you're really supposed to wear, but that wasn't it.
You know what that is? That's what Hollywood's idea of like the everyman guy is.
That outfit took like 3 weeks to look like you didn't care, but it was so obviously you cared, and then he just looked like a fucking ant. So that's the rundown. Anything post-show, this thing's been a disaster, although Milmore seems to be... Milmore came in midway through. We went to the bullpen, and Milmore came in, and now it's fucking working. So Hank said something happened to his computer. I misspoke and said it wasn't Hank's fault earlier in the rundown. That seems to be wrong. It seems like it is Hank's fault. I think we got something going with Flutog. Next up will be the Nate Poker Challenge. So I think we're things are starting to round into shape.
Oh, we got the Flutog. We got boys.
We got a crew.
Someone to build
we got a serious crew getting ready to build this thing.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Also, the 1 year anniversary of me murdering you in the rap battle.
Ooh, Young Unsweetened in the house.
Quick shout out to my boy Mike Stud. Way to be an asshole, dude. My producer kind of turned on me.
Yeah, he said that I was a natural rapper and that Dave was the worst rapper of all time.
Dave, I mean, he's got ears like the rest of us.
Producers don't turn on rappers, and he also said I'm his favorite artist of all time. Like, I don't know what that means. But.
Well, I'll tell you what he said. He said you're so bad that it's good. Like you can't replicate how bad you are. That's why you're his favorite.
Milmore, can we fade out right now with Rise page use Rise? Also, if you haven't watched the CT podcast, that's out today. He describes all his fights in great detail, so it's pretty interesting. All right.
Plug it, Dave. Get it.
Rundown. Hopefully you could watch it.
Oompa, loompa, dooba-dee-dee. If you are wise, you'll listen to me.
Fuck Kevin Clancy, you should've left it alone. Now I will remind you who's on the Iron Throne. See, I'm Jordan, you're Pippin, you're trippin', bro. This is my fucking business you're living off. I'm the freaking boss, crushing summers on the beach. When I met you, you were crunching numbers like a geek. You're more like Marvin, without me you would be starving. You skinny, fat fuck, you starting to look like my wallet. Backseat driving, dick riding, you on my life. I make headlines while you three coning on the sidelines. You unathletic fuck, can't stand, can't run. I'd say blow my head off, that's an insult to the gun. You're a Jets, Knicks, Mets fan, you suck, man. And black people fucking hate you like the Ku Klux Klan. Damn. Constantly spewing all your racist shit. Till Tico, Texas came and ripped you out a brand new clip. What do you get when you guzzle down cum? Your wife should have done it, now she's fat and prego. Oh, you didn't think that you could rap? Now your wife, Caitlin's listening going fap, fap, fap. Probably knocked her up, listening to this beat. Now I gotta have a junior, so he can feed her the meat, geek.
My nose is big.
Fucking KFC. KFC radio. I was fucking doing that in the mid-80s, motherfucker. While you're fucking punching keyboards, I was making fucking memories. You'd be nowhere without me, dude. Remember when you wouldn't fucking jump ship? Think I fucking had a salary when I started this fucking company, dude? I took my balls in my hand and fucking ran with it, coward. But let's get back to you, you lazy-eyed fuck. You got sued and made your daddy pay that all off. Now that's soft, but that's okay, that's alright. Cause page views makes that type of money every night. That's right. Blog like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Every fucking day you're wishing you were me. Cause I be popping bottles in the winner's circle. You're driving in the Fiat like Mr. Urkel. Bitch, I'll serve you like any erotic on a tennis court. I made you cool, but you've been adored. You can't even play a sport. Check the score. I got the fame and I got the horse. Groupies try to fuck me on the blackout tour. That's for sure. Brady, Bird, Belichick, and me. The only 4 fucking guys with the city key. Oh, what about you? What about NYC? Oh, hey, look, isn't that the skinny fat guy who works for DP? Some people got no reason. Some people got no reason. KFC got no reason to live.
You lose. Good day.
Yeah, I took a couple months, but the stoolies know I got this. Mainly cause your raps are weaker than your shoulder sockets. I'm better at everything that I do. You hate blind people, but you can't see the truth. You're a goof. At your wedding, you put me in the back row. Dikembe Tumbo, no. Without me, you're a loser, you're a bum. A rag not worthy of wiping up my cum. Hey, stud. Yo. Fucking cut the beat. I want him to hear this shit. I want him to hear the next part. Hey, KFC, you fat fuck. G-Chat gang can't bail you out now. I've already made you my sacrificial cow. Ow. You took a shot at the king. You best not miss. Now I gotta give you a goodnight kiss. Mwah. I guess your old blog was kinda hot. Actually, fucking check that. For sure not. Fucking twat. Hey, yo, what you forgot, KFC? You should know this. I'm made of steel, stronger than you have tried to make me kneel. I'm immortal, I'm a legend. I'll be here till the end. The question for you, bro, you want to be a foe or a friend? Bitch.